Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Tiffany Parra with Girl Powerhouse, where we celebrate all the amazing women around the world who are doing some really just phenomenal things. So today's guest is one of my sisters. I hold her so near and dear to my heart. I'm going to go ahead and bring her on in. Hey, sis, how are you? Terry J. Walker.
Hey, Tiff. I'm so happy to be here with you on Girl Powerhouse. I am so excited. I just can't
Oh,
hide it.
I'm so excited to have you on the show, sis. I mean, because you really are a girl powerhouse. I mean, you do so much out there in the community, out there in the world, just to educate everyone, women, men, everyone, to just be the best that they can be. And I just love you for that. So tell our audience just a little bit about who you are, Terry, where you're from, and just a little bit about some of the things you do.
Well, I am a corporate trainer, international motivational speaker, author, coach, and host of the I Am Power Hour, which I know you've watched, and so excited to be there. And if you haven't guessed by now, I'm from down in the South. I'm from Tennessee, and just so excited to be here with you today.
Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Love it, love it. So Terry, tell me, let's talk a little bit about this I Am Power Hour first, because this show is just amazing and you have some really awesome guests on there. Some of the women that have been on there have just been amazing. I mean, all your guests have been just equally amazing. But tell us a little bit about the I Am Power Hour and what that's all about and what everybody can expect.
Well, I'm so excited about the I Am Power Hour and how it all kind of panned out and turned out. And I did have some amazing guests. Mandy Barnett, member of the Grand Ole Opry. I had a great interview with her. Linda LeCoq, Dr. Jamie Weiscover, Allie with the Yaks. And as I mentioned, when we were at the award ceremony, I started this out with getting hit in the rear with a yak on a horn, and then ending up walking on fire with my dear friend and coach, Lori Hudspeth. So it just was an amazing journey, and hopefully will help a lot of people out there to grow, because my motto is we all need to grow to our greatest, truest, highest, and best self. And any way
Absolutely.
that I can stretch beyond those limits and be able to grow and help others to do the same, that's what I do. And the tagline to the I Am Power Hour is the courage to rise and thrive. These people are helping people, and that's the type of people I want to interview. They're helping others to grow. They've worked with me and helped me to grow, and I am so excited to bring them into the spotlight as well.
Oh, I love that. I love it. I love it. So we need to back up back up a little bit because you talked about fire walking. Okay, y'all, this is why telling you she's a girl powerhouse. Okay, can we talk a little bit about the fire walking and that experience?
Well, some of these things have never been on my bucket list, but it turned out to become that way. And Lori does a lot of uh, classes and things like that. And I got the opportunity to meet her. I had known her or met her many years ago, and then it just kind of came back around. But she does a lot of seminars and things like that. And she actually is one of the top uh, of only, I think, 10 master firewalkers in the world. And so with that, I got to meet her, and she wanted to do a show with me. And so we did a behind the scenes, and then we actually did the day of and interviewed some of the participants that were there and how they felt about this. But it is a very, very transformative experience. And you'll have to watch the show to find out, even more about it. But it's absolutely was a phenomenal time, and it was a phenomenal season. And I'm so grateful to have gotten to meet and work with these people. And they turned around and actually helped me to overcome a lot of obstacles as well. So I'm real excited to had that opportunity to work with these powerhouse
Yes,
people.
absolutely. We're going to cut to a quick commercial break and then we're going to come back and I'd love to hear more about bridging the gap. So we'll be right back. And we are back. This is Girl Powerhouse on Mupo TV. And if you have not subscribed to Mupo TV yet, go to your iOS or your Android, go to the App Store. You're going to type in MUPO Entertainment, download it, and you can see so many amazing shows like the I Am Power Hour, as well as some of the previous Girl Powerhouses and so many more holistic shows. There's just amazing, amazing shows there. So definitely download it. Or you can also go to mupoentertainment.com as well. So we are back with Miss Terry J. Walker. Thank you so much. So, Terry, let's talk about bridging the gap.
Ooh,
Tell our audience about your baby, Bridging the Gap.
that is my baby, and we've talked about it some on the I Am Power Hour. But bridging the gap actually started out as an idea, and I've worked with children and families and ran residential treatment centers. And I actually got my feet wet at the very beginning by being an intensive probation officer.
Oh,
So, working through this and then working in the mental health arena, bridging the gap came about because I wondered, you know, where we were missing some things with our kids and growing up over the years. And because I had worked with a lot of kids that were in trouble, had had a lot of psychiatric diagnoses, all of those types of things. So I went back and I created Bridging the Gap. And of course, with my growth and working with all of them, we were able to launch this, which is now downloadable modules. It's a full training course of helping you with role modeling and understanding some of the behaviors that you have and working with your kids. It's got stress management, it's got mindfulness information in there. It also talks about bullying and even abuse
mm,
because I dealt with a lot of kids who were physically, emotionally, and of course sexually abused. It
wow.
and understanding the signs and symptoms of that, along with what my favorite part is, the emotional guidance system and understanding how to identify and discuss our feelings because we've gotten so far away from that, and
Right.
moving into signs and symptoms of anxiety and depression and post-traumatic stress disorder, all of the things that are going on and is so on the rise, and especially since the pandemic
Mhm.
had hit.
Yeah.
And then we wrap it up with some self esteem and talking about that, also about resilience and overcoming grief and the ability to understand fear and break through fear and change and understand that even with bridging the gap, everything is connected through all of these classes. So I'm very excited about them, and they are downloadable so you can actually watch them on your own time. And it's about an 8 hour course, if you
Wow.
will. And with that, we're beginning to build a community. So we're going to do some lives in there, and I'm going to bring on panelists and do panel discussions. I've got a lot of things coming up right now, even about ADHD and autism. So I'm going to get some professionals in there and have people to be able to come in once they're in the course and utilizing it. And we're going to have even discussions and build a community of bridging the gap. So I'm very excited about it.
That's excellent. That is so, and it's so much needed. Like you said,
Yeah.
especially after this pandemic, there, the kids are the anxiety levels way up here, constantly. They're getting triggered left and right. And it's very sad, because I notice a lot of the parents, they don't know what to do, so it's a lot of things are just kind of going undiagnosed,
Yeah.
because the parents just don't know what to do. So,
Well, and we even go into a lot of the signs and symptoms and what to look for and how to reach out. And I try to provide some resources there for everyone as well. So there are a lot of things that this course provides. Again, we'll build even further out on that if need be, or even have those live discussions once everybody's in the course and utilizing it. And then when they have questions, we'll be able to go live and do some things in there as well. So I'm very, very excited about this and how it's growing and building. And I've got some school systems that are already starting to potentially get involved. And I'm very excited because we want to bridge the gap between both parents and educators for the
yes.
emotional and social health and well being
Mhm.
of our kids.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you. Thank you for what you do. So let's talk about your book. I know you have, quite a few out there, but let's talk about the resume of life.
Oh, the resume of life. I wrote that a few years ago, and we've gotten a lot of great responses of that. And it was basically me finally taking the time to go over my experiences and begin to grow. And I am a big advocate of Dr. Wayne Dyer. And when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And I was tired of doing the same old stuff over and over and over again. And this was probably my breaking and breakthrough point, if you will. And so I went back and looked over my experiences, whether they were good, whether they were bad, and where it was taking me. And I was tired of sick and tired of being sick and tired, really, because I was always continuously repeating the same old experiences and never seeming
Mhm.
to be able to break out of it. And that's when the real true growth began. And the resume of life has touched a lot of hearts for those who have seen it. And I'm going to give you a little sneak preview hint. You heard it here first. Um, we are. I'm getting ready to start the resume of life 2, going
Yeah.
home, and it will be a second book based on we'll pick up where we left off in the resume of life 1, but the resume of life is the subtitle is becoming consciously aware through spirit, mind, and body. And in there I talk about forgiveness, I talk about gratitude, I talk about understanding these things, and also about energy. And the two main components in this world, I believe, are fear and love. And if we
Yes.
can, and all the things that fall underneath that, and if we can learn to break through those fears, and I'm also a limiting belief clearing practitioner now, but if we can learn to break through those fears, then and understand that we need to move over onto the love side or on that end of the spectrum, things
Yeah.
will begin to change for us.
They absolutely will. I mean, you learn that. Think about it. When you get out of bed, right? If you get out of bed and you're all stanky and all, right? And all of a
Yep.
sudden you stub your toe, right? And then all of a sudden something else happens and something else happens because you got out of bed in that just nasty just mood. But you get out of bed and you're grateful, grateful for the
Yes.
breath, grateful
Yes.
for the roof over your head, grateful for the food you're about to be able to consume, just everything that you're grateful for your puppy, that might be laying next to you, right, or on the floor, whatever that is. Just being grateful and just being positive changes
Yeah.
everything, everything.
And it makes me think of one of the lines that I wrote in my book, and I think a lot of people have used this, but in the gratitude section, it was forgiveness unlocks the chains that bind you, and
Mm,
gratitude opens your doors.
yes, yes,
So
I
that's one of
definitely
the
believe
lines that
that.
I came up with within the book. And, learning to forgive and getting past that judgment and the divisiveness. And, there's so much of that going on
So much.
even today. This book is what they call evergreen because it fits pretty much any time of what someone's going through to be able to understand it. And we have it. It's kind of like Burger King. You can have it any way you want it. It's on Kindle, it's on hardback, it's on paperback, and it's on Audible. So if you don't have time to read, you can always order the Audible version as well.
That's right. Listen to it in your car when you're commuting, whatever that is. Like, find time for it for sure. And I do have to mention too, because we are talking about books, that I got to share it here. So Terry is also going to be in my next anthology that is going to be coming out in February 2024. And that is the Becoming a Girl Powerhouse, Volume 3. And that's Breaking the Mold. So you guys look for that book and Terry sharing her story in that. I cannot wait. And I just thank you so much for joining us. It's going to be just an amazing experience together.
And I'm very excited to be a part of this. And I know that you've already had two that have come out. So I'm very excited to, at least make it into the third one. And so, yes, I'm looking forward to that. And I'm looking forward to working with you more on that. So thank you so much.
Thank you. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to cut to another quick commercial break, and then we're going to come back. And I want to talk to you a little bit about self-care, Jerry.
Okay.
Wait, you want some more? Wait, you want some more? Okay. Wait, you want some more? Wait, you want some more?
And we are back, Girl Powerhouse on Mupo TV. You can download us on your iOS or your Android device at Mupo Entertainment, or you can go ahead and you can watch us on mupoentertainment.com. We have our special guest, Ms. Terry J. Walker. Miss Terry J. Walker. So you do so much, and being that servant, heart, that giver, sometimes that cup gets a little empty. So let's talk a little bit about what self-care looks like for you.
I think I really had to begin learning that when the pandemic hit and I lost my dad and I had to come back and take care of my mom. And I realized too now that so many people are in that sandwich generation. Have you ever heard of the sandwich generation?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of people who haven't, but those are people who may be taking care of an elderly loved one, but also have kids. And so they're trying to, um, you know, balance all of this along with maybe even having a job or a career and all of those things. And I had to really learn to back away and understand how exhausted I had become. And I didn't have anything else to give. And finding that time to self care, whether it's, just taking some time for me, whether it's a hot candlelit bath or it's meditation or going for a walk and getting back into nature because I'm a big nature person, getting grounded, even if you just go out and walk in the yard, in the grass, barefooted, and just take some deep breaths. Don't forget to stop and smell the roses, if you will, because we have got to have that time for ourselves to refuel in whatever way that is. Whether you listen to something that's positive or you read something that's positive or you listen to positive podcasts, there's all kinds out there, even, TV shows and stuff like that of what you're doing, or even with the I Am Power Hour. But taking some time for yourself and finding that, regaining that sense of balance, refuel, and get back into your passion and state of being. And again, there's one thing that many of us leave out, and that is not forgetting to take some time to laugh. to
Oh, yeah.
have some fun
Yeah.
because we get so wrapped up into things that we forget about that. And even if we've got kids, we forget about it even with our kids. We get caught up into that busy, busy, busy and all these expectations. But don't forget to have some time to find some joy, some happiness, some fun, or watch something funny and those types of things. So that's what, self-care looks like for me.
I love it. I love it. And I love the grounding because I'm definitely a tree hugger. I think my neighbors think I'm crazy sometimes. And I'll go out, sit in the grass and just,
Yeah.
play, dig my toes in the grass, things like that for a while. And it just feels so amazing. I mean, studies show that it does. I mean, it does work. It
It
brings
does.
the blood pressure down. It does all sorts of cool stuff to our bodies. So
Yeah.
that's awesome.
And just the power of now too, and getting back, because and I talk about this in so many of my trainings, especially when I'm dealing with stress. So many of us carry all that worry and anxiety and things from the past, and we fear what may or may not happen in the future. But if we can just take some time, it's free of charge. It takes just a few minutes just to back away from the computer or whatever the case may be, sit
Yeah.
down and take some deep cleansing breaths and get into the power of now. These are always things that we can do because the now is truly the only time that we really ever have. And
Right.
it's the present moment. And that is why they call it a present,
Yeah.
because that's really the only time that we have. Let go of the past, let go of what may or may not happen in the future, and just settle in to the now moment. What can I do to take my next step
Yeah.
and make a better choice and just clear your head and clear your mind and take some deep cleansing breaths?
Those breath, that breathing is so much. I mean, oh
Breathing
my gosh,
is,
yes.
yeah,
So you talked about like laughing, having a good time. We got to go back and talk about the making of Mupo Entertainment reality series that we are a part of, as well as the gala where you won an award. And let's talk about just that experience, Sarah. I mean, I got a chance to meet you in person,
mhm,
and I mean, you're just absolutely amazing. I mean, your energy is off the freaking charts. So, yeah, I mean that week was like full of stress, right?
yeah.
But we were having so much fun and we were laughing and we were having such a good time that nobody really got stressed out too much. And I thought that was amazing.
What a great opportunity that was. And I was just, I wasn't sure what I was going to or any of that kind of stuff. But just I got to the point where I was like, you know what? I just need to take the experience in. I
Yeah,
just need to be willing to say yes and say okay and go. And because what I have learned is, you can't take anything with you when you go, but what you can take are your experiences and your memories.
yeah,
And so I wanted this to be a great experience, and it did not disappoint. I got to meet such wonderful people, such as you. I mean, we had known each other through the
yes,
powers of the internet. But to get to see people in person
yeah.
and just laugh and have fun and get to know one another, and it was just absolutely phenomenal. We got to meet a lot of wonderful people. And as again, it was kind of stressful. It was busy. There was a lot going on. However, we had such a good time and I just absorbed the experience that it just turned out to be phenomenal. And I'll tell you, it took me well over a week to get my feet to touch the ground after I got back. Just remembering everything and just what a good time I had and the time I got to spend with you. And that was absolutely phenomenal.
Oh, that was so much fun. So much fun. I can't wait to spend some time with you again soon.
Exactly.
And seeing all those, I mean, I'm all about the girl powerhouses, right? And, being able to
We
meet
had
Michelle
some.
Mupo in person, that was awesome because, we see her, all, in our meetings and things like that.
Yep.
And then being able to, see Brenda Gilbert and
What a
just
lovely, lovely person she is.
very, I mean, just amazing. With Marisa Blodorn, Own It magazine in the house. It just man, it was just really, really awesome. And the guys in the house too, I mean, there was a lot of guys in the house that were awesome. And let's talk about the award though. So what was the award that you had received again?
I think most innovative and creative because I'm always out there. I try to look outside the box. So it was most innovative and creative. And like I'd said, I started out getting a horn up my rear on the with the yaks, and we went through and did a lot of other health and holistic kinds of things, and just sharing a lot of stuff all the way through to fire walking. So it was pretty creative and it was pretty innovative. But I met a lot of powerhouses there, and I met a lot of powerhouses with at the Mupo Awards, and I'll tell you, this was absolutely a phenomenal time. And so I'm grateful that I took the chance, that I said yes, that I was willing to stretch and go out there, which is what many of us need to be willing to do anyway. And just to get to know even more people who are like minded, who you can find your tribe, who are willing to grow and to help others to grow as well. And I mean, it was just a phenomenal experience.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Just amazing. So, what's one of the most profound life lessons that you've learned this far?
Oh gosh, I've been knocked down so many times. I think mostly just to learn how to grow and be willing to stretch yourself, be willing to meet new people, be willing to have that ability to reach out, even when you are in a low point, to find someone who can help you or coach you along. Or I believe too that everyone is here for a reason or a purpose, and they have something they're passionate about, and they have unique skills and abilities, and so let's look at enhancing those. Find someone who can help you, coach you along the way. And Mupo provides a lot of that information as well. I know you have a lot of connections. So people that are willing to just reach out and say, how can I help and how can I help you to help yourself to grow? But I guess the biggest life lesson, most recent, that I've had to learn over the course of the last year and a half is trust. Learning to trust myself, learning to get back to that intuitive awareness and understanding and growth, and being willing to trust that I can make good choices and decisions, and be willing to follow that passion, whatever it is that you've always longed for, or that that you're here for a reason or a purpose. And I talked about that a little bit in the resume of life. Is I always knew we're all here for a reason or a purpose, but are we willing to step into that? Are we willing
Right.
to enhance those unique skills and abilities that we all have? But also, are we allowing others to tell us what we should and should not be doing? Because I grew up with, a father who was in the military and also a Green Beret, and a mother who was very strong, and they they had my life planned out for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I always tried to walk that path. But there was always something even further down in me. And many of us, we may have spouses or somebody that's telling us this is what you have to do.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta go to work and bring home the bacon, if you will. But there's always something within us that we really, really have a passion about. Whether it's artistic, whether it's creating something, it's because we're all creators. And I
Right.
think by taking that time to really trust and believe in myself and grow, that it actually turned out to be uh, that I was able to get on the track to find my passion, and had that trust and belief that the right doors would open at the right time, the right people would show up at the right time, and be willing to say yes to life rather than just going to work every day and going home and just being busy, 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 and living in, a stressful, you know, situation all the time.
Right.
And this is why I wanted to help people to begin to break the mold.
Wow. Wow.
Your upcoming book, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Girl Powerhouse, break the mold.
It's just amazing. Just amazing. Look, you have broke the mold in so many ways. I mean, just from talking to you in the the little bit of time that we had together, you're so amazing. Just, so
As
what would
are you,
you
my friend.
tell? What's something that you would tell your 21-year-old self, knowing everything that you know now? What would be that message, sir?
Break out. Begin to trust yourself. And don't allow other people to tell you what you can and cannot do. We all are put into a box, and have that willingness to break out of that box, to find those things that you're passionate about, to find those skills that you're passionate about. You all have skills. Everyone is here for a reason or a purpose. I don't
Right,
care who you are, but are you following that? Are you
right,
ready to take those steps to try, start pushing in that direction? You know, there's a lot of people filling up cemeteries
right,
that have uh, left this earthly journey, and their dreams and their goals and the things that they really wanted to do never transpired. And when they got to an age where they looked back over their life and they said, I wish I had. And
mhm,
I came to the point that I was not going to do that anymore. I wasn't going to have any regrets. There was no, I wish I had. I'm just taking in the experiences as I go, just like being willing to go to the Mupo entertainment. And
right,
what a great thing that was. And so, with that, let go of the regrets, push through the fears, break through the fear, and do it anyway. But
yeah.
do the things that you love.
Yeah, get comfortable being uncomfortable. That's
There
what I
you
had
go.
to learn. Once I had a coach tell me that, and it was like, okay, well, but I don't want to get comfortable being uncomfortable. But once I finally said, okay, let me do this. There's something to this. Then all the doors started opening up. Then it was like, okay, I'm still uncomfortable, but I gotta do it because that worked last time. So
Yes.
it's amazing what happens when you just like what does Michelle Mubo say? Just don't think, just do.
Don't think, just do. And
Don't
you know, my
think,
superstar
just
social media sidekick, Bailey Bob over here,
yes.
I used to say that that's how he would be, you know, and that's how he would say to me. I would believe in my mind. He'd say, Terry, just don't think, just do. And sometimes we get so caught up into the how. How will this work? How is this going to happen? Let
Yeah,
go of the how
yeah,
and just take the steps of moving toward whatever that is that
right.
you are passionate about.
Yeah,
And the rest, once you begin working on that, the rest will begin to fall into place. And I can assure you, because I'm living proof of it, once I let go of the how, everything else began to come into place. And understand that whatever it is that you think about is bigger than you. And when you are being inspired by whatever idea or creative thing that it is that you're doing, once you're being inspired by that, take action on it.
yeah,
My coach told me the other night, look at you now, Terry, as to where you had come from. And she said,
mhm,
look at Edison was Edison created 1,000 light bulbs till they
yep,
found one that worked. And now we all live by light bulbs.
right.
So don't worry about the how. Allow that to come in play.
Absolutely, absolutely. I just love you, Terry. I tell you. And look, see, when we get on here, the time just goes so doggone quick.
I know it.
But I would love for you to please just share some words of wisdom, some words of encouragement to some of those girl powerhouses that are out there that are, again, just waiting. I know we just talked about just do it, but if there's anything else that you could share with them, just to help them, just to get motivated,
I think
please.
one of the biggest things that helps me more than anything else is the attitude of gratitude. When you get all tore up about whatever may be going on, take a step back, take some deep breaths in the power of now, like we talked about, but also Realize those things you're grateful for, no matter how small they may or insignificant they may seem to be. Because once we learn to count our blessings, and once we have that power of gratitude, doors will begin to open. Like I said, even with that line that I wrote in the book,
Mhm.
gratitude opens your doors. And if we can learn to have that when you get up in the morning, somewhere during the day, count your blessings, state the things that you're grateful for, and even before you go to bed at night, and learn that power of gratitude, because I think it is one of the most powerful things anyone can do. I know it sure has helped me.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. So, Terry J. Walker, thank you so much for joining us today on Girl Powerhouse. You are a true powerhouse, sis, and I just cannot wait to, make some serious magic around this world with you because we're coming. We are.
Yes,
As
we
I
are.
told you when I met you, it's TNT all the way.
And what is TNT? Tiff and
It's
Terry.
tip
We got this.
explosive,
Thank
y'all.
you.
Explosive.
Thank you so much for allowing me to be on your show. And I appreciate you. And I can't wait to see and talk to you again.
Awesome. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, make sure that you subscribe to Mupo Entertainment so you can watch the Mupo TV shows and everything there. And if you are someone that wants your own TV show, you can also go to Mupo Entertainment and you can learn how you can step up that podcast that you have or even a radio show. If you're just thinking about creating a show and you don't know what you're doing, look up Mupo Entertainment. There's definitely some amazing powerhouses there that can help you do so. So we will see you next time. Thanks again. Take care.
If I open up my eyes, I can see the skies. I can see the skies.